So hello there, I'm your Mami Lou. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Katribo Studio, if you want me to continue my day's advocacy. Meanwhile, I will be launching my new feature episode. Make sure to click that notification bell to be updated. Thank you to Armelin Elsie for watching my Women's Month episode. Thank you, Armelin. And for our topic for today. Okay? Decorum in action. Conducting and resolving senior citizens elections in the Philippines under Republic Act 9994. Okay, so to all my co-senior, please try to listen to this, no? Because the seniors has really contributed much, no, in our younger days. What is the age of the senior? 60 up, no? We have some 100, 105, 100 plus senior citizens. So we belong to that bracket from 60 years old up. So let us first understand what is Republic Act 9994, also known as Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010. Further amends Republic Act 7432, which aims to maximize the contribution of senior citizens in nation building and provide them with benefits and privileges. So here's the summary of its key provisions. Privileges for senior citizens, government assistance, Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs, penalties, monitoring and coordinating mechanism, implementing rules and regulations, appropriations, repelling clause, separability clause, effectivity, among others. So even if we are senior, we have to continue to study. This is a law that is really for us. So we have to study, to be alive, alert, and to continue to contribute to nation building. So let us focus our attention on Section 6, the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs. Will be established in all cities and municipalities. It will be led by a senior citizen appointed by the mayor for a 3-year term, with no reappointment but possible extension if needed. No? So it's the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs. The appointee will be chosen for the list of 3 nominees recommended by a General Assembly of Senior Citizens Organizations. Okay? So there would be 3 representatives, senior citizens organizations. The head of the OSCA will serve the interests of the senior citizens and can only be removed for reasons of like death, permanent disability, and ineffective performance. So that's it, the OSCA officer. They will receive an honorarium equivalent to salary grade 10, approved by the local government. Our OSCA head here in Davao City is Mr. Luis Moran. You can follow Bagong OSCA on Facebook if you want to see. Mga ka-seniors din sa Davao City. Okay, so the city or municipal social welfare and development officer will assist the head of the OSCA. The office of the mayor will supervise the OSCA plans, activities, and programs for senior citizens. The OSCA will collaborate with accredited NGOs or non-government organizations, people organizations, and the barangays. So what are the functions? Its function include the OSCA, para for us to understand, no? Sometimes, what are the services? How can we avail that, no? So, the OSCA office. So, let us focus on the OSCA office. The OSCA office function includes planning, implementing, monitoring yearly work programs for the senior citizens. Next is identifying available and required services for senior citizens. So it is a dynamic office, no, to identify available and required services for our senior citizens. Next is maintaining and updating a list of senior citizens and issuing national identification cards. So that is also the work of the OSCA. So if you have not yet availed of the OSCA ID, when you reach 60, so find time to go to the OSCA office. Then serving as information and liaison center for senior citizens. That's the function of the OSCA office, whether at the city or municipal. Next is monitoring compliance of laws, provisions, including discounts and privileges. So we are entitled to discounts and privileges as senior citizens. So that is also the work of the OSCA office. Then reporting violations to the mayor and assisting senior citizens in filing complaints with relevant authorities. So sometimes, especially for medicines, there are some stores that does not honor by the senior citizen discounts. So we can file, no, report that violations. So we must be aware of the law, the guidelines, so that we can really complain. We cannot just rant. But we really have to report that, no, to the office of the mayor. Then there is an operating structure for you to expect senior citizens to participate in nation building. Because sometimes we are seniors, we have contributed much during our younger days. And we have discussions with the PWDs, and we are in the better sector because most of us are professionals or being gainfully employed or have opportunities to move freely, compared to the PWD. So even if we are senior citizens, we can still contribute to nation building to make our country strong, our family strong, our community strong. So there are operating structures how we can participate. In the LGU, it's the office of the mayor. Then office of the senior citizens affairs in coordination to the federation and its local chapters, because we are composed of local chapters in every barangay. Some have 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, depending on the population. As senior citizen, we can contribute to the nation building with simply proper decorum in the conduct of election of officers. Election is a very sacred thing. Years ago, not all women can vote. Later, the women can vote. Not only in electing officials, but even in organizations. You remember in the past, there are only exclusive organizations and membership for men. So even if we are senior citizens, we can still continue to move in the gains, especially in the election processes, to really observe proper decorum. In Bisaya, we call that inato-ato na lang ba? Ay, aniyo na lang nato, we do this, we'll do that, like that. But we are still contributing to nation building, and these young senior citizens are watching us. We serve as a model. So if we do it properly, we do it with the proper decorum, then we are the models, but they are looking at us like that. So proper decorum is a basic in any organization. So to ensure proper decorum when conducting an election of senior citizens in the Philippines under Republic Act 9994. So this is only applicable for the Philippines. So my friends and relatives abroad, so if you are not member and senior citizen here, so this is only applicable, Republic Act number 9994. Or the expanded Senior Citizens Act. You'll want to adhere the rules outlined in its implementing rules and regulations, or IRR, and the constitution and bylaws of the organization. So because some are already independently registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, right? But not all organizations have the SEC registration as senior citizen local chapter. You understand or you get it? Okay. So you can check if this was followed in your organization. So let us continue to reflect on this. One is familiarize yourself with the law and IRR before conducting an election. Ensure you thoroughly understand the provisions of Republic Act 9994 and its IRR. What is IRR? Implementing rules and regulations. Pay particular attention to any sections related to the conduct of elections for the senior citizens that includes the Constitution and bylaws. Yes. So let us always be guided so that it will prevent from any untoward resentment from the general membership. Then appointment of officers. Designate. Number 2, appointment of officers. Designate or appoint officers who will oversee the election process. So not just anybody can just call a meeting and then we will have an election today. No, there should be a process. Designate or appoint officers who will oversee the election process. It may include the presiding officer, yes, the election committee members, and the other necessary personnel. Some can just supervise, but it should be within the organization as the election committee. So is it being done in your organization? Okay. Number three. Notification. Provide sufficient notice to all eligible senior citizens regarding the date, time, venue of the election. This can be done through various means such as flyers. So there must be notification announcement in senior citizen centers or community bulletin boards. So is it being observed in your respective chapters? Notification. The minimum notification, it depends on your constitution and bylaws. Some is 3 days, but others 15 days. So check on your constitution and bylaws. Then establish quorum. Number 4, establish quorum. Determine the minimum number of senior citizens required to be present to constitute quorum. This number should be in accordance with the provisions of the law and IRR. So we should follow this. We cannot just make an election when there is no quorum. Do you understand? Ka-seniors. Because sometimes we just expedite election there, election everywhere. So it is really incumbent upon the officers to really observe. And then the notification, I think this is one area really that needs improvement. Notification. Then number 5 is check eligibility. Ensure that only eligible senior citizens participate in the election according to Republic Act 9994, or senior citizen is any resident in the Philippines at least 60 years old. So 60 years old, no, to be a member of the senior citizen, 60 up. Yes. Especially for the because we have some local chapters, then district federations, and then citywide federation, or local chapter, federation, and then municipal or city federation. So that should be clear, no? And it should be stated in the guidelines. The number 6. Number 6. Okay, are you following? Conducting the election. Follow the procedure outlined in the IRR for conducting election. So follow the guidelines. Read, study. No, because most of us are really unenlightened leaders. This may include procedures for casting votes. That's very important. It has to be agreed. Is it secret ballot or viva voce, no? Raising of hands. Counting of ballots. If it is by ballots, then how is the votes counted? And resolving disputes. So that must be cleared in the guidelines prior to the election. Then number 7. Okay, 7. Number 7, see my hands? Maintain order and decorum. Throughout the election process, maintain order and decorum to ensure fair and peaceful voting environment. Sometimes when leaders would come and this process is not observed, they really feel bad. No, they really feel bad because we cannot shortchange the senior citizen because they have their own merit being able to reach that pace of life. So encourage respectful behavior and among participants and enforce any rules regarding conduct during election. So we must be consistent from the very beginning, no? It must be clear with objective, no? Then, how do you count? Can you see that? It's 8 na. 8, record keeping. Keep accurate records of the election proceedings, including attendance, voting results, or any issues, disputes that arise during the process. Sometimes it's very sacred by the ballots especially. So it should not be accessible to anybody who voted for whom like that. And it becomes chismis already after the election because certain persons who are not members of the election committee has access to this, that they just want to find out who voted or who did not voted for a particular person. This is a very sacred process and it must be guarded at all times. Number 9. It's 9 na. Certification of results. Once the election is complete and the votes are counted, certify the results in accordance with the procedures outlined in the IRR, and especially in the election guidelines that has been ratified by the Assembly. Is it being done in your senior citizen elections? So if it is, then congratulations. If it is not, then it is an area for improvement. Then number 10. It's 10 already. Number 10. Follow-up actions. Take any necessary follow-up actions based on the outcome of the results, such as notifying elected representatives or implementing agency any decisions made by the senior citizen community. Then, by following these steps and adhering to the provisions of Republic Act 9994 and its IRR, you can conduct an election of senior citizens in the Philippines with proper decorum and compliance with the law. Okay? Did you learn something? Do you have any questions? Please write it in the comment section below.
So Sarah and Lydia who are on research.
Okay, so Ma'am Lydia, good morning, and also Sarah Merced, they are my senior citizen friends. Now, Ma'am Lydia is from Barangay Ubalde, and she is also the barangay secretary. Good morning. So, do you have any questions? Write it in the comment section below. So, when dispute arises during an election it's essential to handle it promptly and fairly while adhering to the guidelines outlined in Republic Act 9994 and its implementing rules. So it's really our Bible, no? If there are Bible for certain groups, this is the Bible for the senior citizens. So you can access it or Google it, no? And to really read about it. We really have to be informed about it to be able to contribute still in the improvement of our respective organizations. Then here's the step-by-step approach to resolving disputes during such an election. So, para we can approach it objectively, no? If there are really disputes in the conduct of elections, this is number 1. Maintain calm and order. As soon as dispute arises, ensure that the environment remains calm and orderly. Remind participants to remain respectful and refrain from any disruptive behavior. Okay? Number 2. Number 2 is clarify the nature of dispute. Identify the specific issues concerned that causing the dispute. This is involved discrepancies in voting procedures, challenges to the eligibility of voters, or allegations or misconduct. Okay? Number 3. It's better like that. Number 3. Refer to the law and the IRR. Yes, always. When in doubt, you really have to refer to the law because the law will be our guidance. And the implementing rules, the IRR gives us the details how to do it. So consult the relevant provisions of Republic Act 9994 and its IRR to determine the appropriate procedures for resolving disputes during the election process. These documents may provide specific guidelines in handling common types of disputes. Then number 4. Establish an ad hoc committee. In case there is a dispute in the conducted election, establish an ad hoc committee. If necessary, form a temporary committee. Ad hoc is a committee, temporary in nature, to address a specific issue. Then comprised of impartial individuals to investigate and resolve the dispute, and this committee should include representatives from different stakeholders, such as election organizers, so who conducted the election, who initiated the election, senior citizen groups, and impartial observers. Sometimes we invite them from the GKK, if we have small basic ecclesial communities, that they would comprise the ad hoc committee. Then number 5 is gather evidence and testimony. Collect any relevant evidence such as ballots, voter registration records, or eyewitness testimony to help understand the nature of the dispute and to reach a fair resolution. Ensure that all parties involved have the opportunity to present their side and story. Number 6. We are number 6 na. Mediation and negotiation. Encourage mediation and negotiation between parties involved in the dispute. So what do you mean by mediation? So it's kind of a dialogue, no? To identify the problems, the demands also, and to have a win-win solution if possible. Facilitate constructive dialogue such as mutually acceptable resolution whenever possible. Okay? So, number 7. It is number 7 already. So, decision-making process. If mediation and negotiation shall fail to resolve the dispute, the ad hoc committee or presiding officer should make a decision based on the available evidence and provisions of the law and IRR. The decision should be fair, impartial, and transparent. No? Because it's not easy really to raise a dispute, is it? No, it's not easy. So when somebody raises a dispute, an issue on this process, then something really is strong intent to raise this to the collective group. Number 8. Documents the resolution. Record the details of the dispute, including the steps taken to resolve it and the final decision reached. Maintain thorough documentation. Ensure transparency and accountability. So if there is the person na nagreklamo or who raised that dispute, he must be properly informed. He would only be informed that the case has been closed and he has not even been given a copy of the dispute. No, so you really have to ensure there is transparency and accountability in the process. Number 9. This is number 9 already. Appeals process. If the disputing parties are unsatisfied with the decision, provide them with information or any appeals process available under the law or organizational bylaws. No, so that's always the reference. If we have the ratified constitution and bylaws, that is already the reference. Ensure that any appeals are handled fairly and expeditiously. No, there are prescribed period to really do it. Okay, number 10. Implement the decisions. Number 10. Implement the decisions. Once a resolution has been reached and any appeals process has been exhausted, implement the decision promptly and communicate it at all relevant parties. Take any necessary follow-up actions to address the outcome of the dispute. Okay? Then, by following these steps and adhering to the provisions of Republic Act 9994 and its IRR, you can effectively resolve disputes that may arise during an election for senior citizens in the Philippines while maintaining fairness, transparency, and adherence to the law. So, it's better to prepare and do it properly. Then we will reach to a point that there will be dispute or conflict that would occur as part of the results of the elections that there is not properly observed, no? Proper decorum in action has not been observed. So we will really expect some unexpected dispute. But if we do it properly, then it can really be prevented. So, my greetings to my sister Evangeline Cedeño and my cousins there in the United States of America, in UK, Anna Davis, and also Ma'am Linlin Monde, and also to Leslie Sanchez Galpin, and also to Sharon Sisbino Lancaster in UK. So, good morning. How are you? Kumusta din ha? And also my co-workers at the Mindanao Pranic Healing Center. No, thank you really for continuing our work and our service, especially the promotion of the meditation on Twin Hearts. So for your assignment, take a picture of your contribution to nation building. Small efforts like caring for stray dogs or cats or garbage or taking care of a neighbor. No, so take a picture also and share it, and let's tell our experience and tag Ask Mami Lu on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. You can also scan my QR code to get the latest updates. Okay, on my social media. Okay. So, this episode is for education, entertainment, and information purposes only. So, it does not replace legal advice and professionals.
Legal advice of professionals.
Legal advice of the professionals. So, again, it does not replace the legal advice of the professionals. No. So, this is only for education, entertainment, and information purposes only. So, that ends our Ask Mamilu episode 25, Decorum in Action, Conducting and Resolving Senior Citizen Elections in the Philippines under Republic Act 9994. So, this is your Mamilu saying, Daghang salamat. Thank you for welcoming me to your space. And see you next meetup. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.